Hi, I'm Mitch Ruebush, and this is the Grok talk for an overview of extensibility with Visual Studio Team System. And I'm an architect for ING Direct, and I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. So let's get going and looking at some of these things. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at three different types of extensibility. Team System has all kinds of extensibility that we can do, but we're going to be looking at three different types. Specifically, we're going to look at how you can customize it with your own solution framework. So if you have your own process or whatever, we're going to look at some of the options for customizing with that particular process. Then what we're going to do is we're going to look at how you can add your own work item types, because once I've started adding my own process, I'm going to have my own types of things that need to be put into this system. And then thirdly, I'm going to show you where you can find out more information on customizing everything else, like the build process, the test process, whatever you might be doing along that particular process. So let's get going. So here we're looking at a slide, and this slide here, this slide is just your work item type context. And what this is showing is that we have basically the solution here. That'll work. And then we have basically the types of items that we can add it into. So if we look at this, we can basically pull into this particular solution. Now the solutions are actually located, whenever we pull up a particular solution, we have this particular process guidance. And the process guidance here is just an HTML type form with a lot of JavaScript, XSLT, and everything to produce this kind of site that people can go in and say, what role am I? Click on the role. Oh, well, here are some of the different roles that are in our particular solution here. I can see what roles are here. As part of this, I can go in and see what work items are available in this particular solution. So we can see the work items that are here, kind of an overview or documentation of the solution. And then these things plug into the actual Visual Studio Team System so that I can actually create artifacts of this particular type of solution. So this is one of the first places where you want to start. You want to get your particular process into this particular solution. So to do that, what the Visual Studio Team System team is providing is basically an XML file that goes through a build process. Now you might be saying, an XML file? I don't grok XML. Or maybe you do. Maybe you really like angle brackets. And if you do, you can just, kind of come in and you can say open with Notepad, and you can start editing some of these particular files with the process guidance, specify where the HTML is, and all these particular elements are in there. Or what the Visual Studio Team System has done is to get all these supporting files that need to be created, the XML files, the schemas from these particular files. To get all this stuff created for you, they're providing you a template. Okay, so this is an InfoPath template form. And this InfoPath form allows you to go in and create different types of items. So if I come down, you can see I can select what item or what type of artifact I want to create. So let's say I want to create a new role in my organization. So I can say role, and I can come into here and I can say we call our testers code breakers. Okay? So we could do something like the code breaker there. And they're going to be testing this particular thing first. And I just deleted my form, but okay. So we could go in and we can basically specify a role, and we could say we have the code breaker role. Okay, and then we can put it in a particular order that we're interested in. Then I could go in and I can add more items. So if I have some more roles that I want to add, I can say, oh yeah, we have an architect, just a regular type of architect there. We'll just call it an arc. And maybe they get this thing first. And then I could go in and add different types of things that I want. So maybe I want a work item, and I'm going to call this the test case. So we could come in and put together our particular work items, our test cases, all this good content stuff. Then once I come down here, I can take this work item content. Here's the class. Here's the content order. And then I can basically look at the content description. If you come down, you can specify states. So we can specify different states, how we want to move between each one of these particular items. And what we're really doing is just building up an XML file. Okay? Then what I can do is I can take this XML file and I can process it through a tool that the team system provides me. And this tool out here is just available on the team system website. So if I come here, this is the team system website. And you can see here there's a link that I'll put into my links that I'm going to show you. We'll put it here. And off this site, you can get a tool that will basically process and build out this particular guidance and make all the HTML pages, all the different content that is available for us out there. Okay, So once we get that built, then the other item that you're interested in going into is actually building out or defining what types of items or schema, in essence, that I'm going to be adding into my team system environment. So if I come in and look at this, team system was a little slow for a 10-minute presentation, so what I did was I pulled out some of these different items into slides. And so what we have here is we have editing a work item, and you can see whenever I edit my work item, I have my work item type as XML. And then what I can see down here is I have basically the WIT import, and I have the import, and then I have the export. So I can import and export out these particular types. And what they're basically based on is just schemas that I'm going to be putting into the system or out of the system. So you see here the particular schema that we're following for this. Now here's an example of a work item type definition that we might want to put into this system. So you can see that a work item will have some basic properties that all work items have. They're common to all different work items. And we have a name, description, some of these different fields, workflow fields, we have field rules, we have a form, some global list, and that kind of good stuff. So it's all very interesting along these lines, and you can see where we can lay out what we want to do. So you could even get down to fields and how you want fields to appear on the form by defining it via the type definition here. And then what I could do is I can go in and add my own field name and value pairs to add all my own custom stuff. And so each individual custom type would just be name value pairs that we're shoving into this particular system. So this is just a little color-coded there to show you kind of the main sections of this section here. This is just a minimal work type. If I was basically building out my minimal work type, I would put out these particular items. I have to basically say, hey, it exists. In my transitions, I have to basically specify the field name and then the fields. Okay? So then what we have is once I've added that field, you'll see we added a severity here. It can appear on my templates for my forms within Visual Studio Team System. So that makes it very useful in basically being able to extend and build up more of these elements here. Okay? So what we have in here is we have the ability to do these things. Now, Team System can be customized in all kinds of ways. We have custom test, we have custom build process, we have custom properties and fields. So what you want to do is basically you want to be able to go up to the Microsoft Teams site, and what they have now is they just produced with Beta 2 the Team System Extensibility Kit. And in the Team System Extensibility Kit, you can download this stuff, and when you download it, what you'll do is you'll get a bunch of Word documents, you'll get a bunch of process templates, you'll get your presentations, a bunch of different presentations on how to extend it, you'll get source control, you'll get work item tracking extensibility. All the different extensibility elements are put into here. And if you want more information on basically being able to go in and track the team system stuff or being able to set up any of these work item trackings, you would use this particular tool. Thank you for participating in this Grok talk, and I really enjoyed this. Bye.